Hi guys, welcome to lesson 8.4, multiplying special cases. Our objective for today is that I can find the square of a binomial and I can find the product of a sum and difference. So our essential understanding, there are special rules that you can use to simplify the square of a binomial or the product of a sum and difference. So the first we're going to tackle is square of a binomial. And the square of a binomial is the square of the first term plus twice the product of the two terms plus the square of the last term. So in our example here, we have it written out, a plus b squared, so the first term, a squared, plus twice the product of the two terms, 2 times a times b, plus b squared. Okay? And it's the same if we have negatives, but it'll be minus 2ab in the middle, and it'll be still plus b squared. So let's do a couple examples. First, we've got n minus 7 squared. So let's just do the way we learned yesterday, which was n minus 7 times n minus 7. And we'll see where this shortcut comes from. So first, n squared, outer, minus 7n, inner, minus 7n, last, plus 49. Our first term squared, last term squared, middle two terms, when we combine like terms, we have minus 14n plus 49. So the middle term is twice the two terms, so n times 7 times 2 is 14n, negative 14n. Okay, n squared minus 14n plus 49. So this is a shortcut. Now let's be honest. Do I have to expect you to be able to memorize this? You should be able to, because when we start factoring later on, and especially in chapter 11 when we're dealing with rationals and we're trying to cancel things out, if you can recognize these patterns, it will make life quicker for you. So learn the pattern, make life easier. So our next one, 2x plus 9, the quantity squared. So our rule is that we square our first term, so 2x squared, and then we add 2 times our first term, 2x, times our second term, 9, plus our second term squared, 9 squared. Okay? So now we just need to simplify it. 2x squared, 2x, the quantity squared, is 4x squared, 2 squared, x squared, plus 2 times 9 is 36x plus 81. Okay. Letter C, x plus 5, the quantity squared. So it's going to be x squared plus 2 times x times 5 plus 5 squared. X squared is just x squared. 2 times x times 5 is plus 10x plus 25. Okay. I want you guys to try D, E, and F on your own. Okay. Letter D, we have 3n, the quantity squared, plus 2 times 3n times negative 1 plus 1 squared. Or rather, to be more accurate, negative 1 squared. Okay. 3n squared is 9n squared. 3n, the quantity squared, is 9n squared. 2 times 3 times negative 1 is minus 6n. And negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Okay. Letter E. We have y plus 4, the quantity squared. So we have y squared plus 2 times y times 4 plus 4 squared. Y squared plus 8y plus 16. Last one, 2x minus y, the quantity squared. So it's our first term, 2x, the quantity squared, plus 2 times 2x times negative y plus negative y squared. 2x squared is 4x squared. 2x, the quantity squared, is 4x squared. Minus 2 times negative 1. So that's minus 4xy. Negative y times negative y is plus y squared. Okay, your first term and your last term are always going to be positive. So again, can you FOIL these pretty quickly if you've gotten good at FOILing? Yes. Do you necessarily have to memorize the rule in order to get this product? No. But like I said, being able to recognize this pattern is going to be helpful to you later on when we are doing factoring and when we get to lesson 11. All right, so you want to know these rules. So applying the square of binomials. We have a square patio, right here, that is surrounded by a brick walkway as shown. What is the area of the walkway, and then what will the area be if it is 4 feet wide instead of 3 feet wide? So the first thing we need to do is find the area of the walkway, and that's going to be the area of the outer part minus the area of the inner part. So our outer part is x plus 6 because we have 3 feet on this side and 3 feet on this side. So the horizontal width is the width of the patio, x, plus the two 3-foot sections, so that's where we get the x plus 6 feet. So we have x plus 6 squared minus the area of our patio, which is x squared. So when we do our distribution, we have x squared plus 12x plus 36 minus x squared. Okay, so when we do that, combine our like terms, x squared minus x squared, we have 12x plus 36. Okay, that's our expression. Now, we were asked also, what will the area be if it's 4 feet wide instead of 3 feet wide? Well, where did that 3 go? We had 3 here, and it added up to 6. So if it's 4 feet wide instead, this will be 4, this will be 4, so that'll add up to 8. So we would have x plus 8, the quantity squared, minus x squared. So x plus 8 squared, we'd have x squared plus 16x plus 64 minus x squared. Combine like terms again. 16x plus 64 would be our expression for the area. Okay. Letter B, what is the area of the shaded region? Well, I've got a square that's x plus 5 side length, and I have a square with an x side length. So the same thing, x plus 5, the quantity squared, minus x squared, because we want to know the area of what's shaded and not the little cutout. So we've got x squared plus 10x plus 25 minus x squared. Again, it's simplify, combine like terms, 10x plus 25. Okay. Our next rule is the product of a sum and difference. Again, our definition of it is the product of a sum and difference of the same two terms is the difference of their squares. So a plus b times a minus b is equal to a squared minus b squared. Okay? So we're going to do one example where I'm going to FOIL it and demonstrate how this property works. So we have x times x is x squared. X times negative 9 is minus 9x. X plus positive 9 is plus 9x. And 9 times negative 9 is minus 81. Okay. Combine like terms, we have x squared minus 81. The square of the first term minus the square of the second term. Okay. That's this property. Again, this is another one where foiling it, pretty easy. But when it comes to factoring later on in the year, being able to recognize this rule is going to save you a lot of time. So you really want to emphasize and get these rules into your brains. Okay, so 3c minus 4 times 3c plus 4. So we have 3c, the quantity squared, minus 4 squared. 3c is 9c squared minus 16. Okay. Letter C, 6 squared is going to be 36. M squared is going to be minus m to the 4th. 36 minus m to the 4th. Okay. I want you guys to try D, E, and F on your own, and then I'll go over it. So, first term is x squared minus 6 plus 6. So we've got x to the 4th minus 36. This also might be a good time to practice your perfect squares. I would recommend having all the way up to at least 15 memorized. So, 5x squared is going to be 25x squared. 3 squared is 9. And letter F. 3 squared is, or 3x, the quantity squared, is going to be 9x squared plus y minus y squared. Now, like I said, you should probably start memorizing those perfect squares if you haven't already. I'm assuming you already know all the way up to 12. So if you don't, 11 is 121, 12 is 144, 13 is 169, 14 is 196, 15, 225. I would recommend that you have all the way up to here memorized at least. And I'm assuming that you know 1 through 10 squared. If you don't, get out some flashcards and start practicing. But you should really have at least up to 15 memorized. Again, this is to make your lives easier as we start factoring in the second half of this unit, when we deal with it in Chapter 9, when we deal with it in Chapter 11, and when we deal with it in Chapter 10. So knowing your perfect squares up to 15 is going to be important. I really, really encourage you guys to memorize them. All right, that's the end of our lesson for today. Make sure you fill out your level of understanding. Rate yourself 1 to 4. Write down any questions or confusions that you may have from this lesson. And then make sure you fill out your summary of how we can apply these special product rules. All right, have a great night.